I guess on my hair, she look all right. And with that actually sitting there like this creams, and I had to have them, sis. All 5 of them. Here, I just had, we're gonna discontinue it, but I had to pick up their book of shadows, honey. Color grade makes cheap fan, expensive breeze, good times. Wow, so serious. Alright, things is up and going. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. And it ain't no point even sugarcoating things. Time to get straight to it. I know a lot of y'all looking like Torrence. What happened to that Fenty Beauty brown smoky eye look that you did? Let me explain. Basically, I did record it. It's already set up. All I have to do is the final touches and things like that. But I am someone who works for a living. And when the opportunity presents itself to either get a pay raise or promotion, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to try to jump up on it because I'm someone who doesn't plan on working my entire life. And if I can potentially save and make a little extra money, why not? The problem is, excuse me, when I agreed to go ahead and try to go for this certain position, I did not realize exactly how many extra hours in a day it was going to take to put in and how much time it was going to take out of doing YouTube. And I'm sitting back like, okay, Torrence, we know for sure we don't want to give up YouTube. This is absolutely fun. It's amazing. But the thing is, no matter how simple and how quick a video is, it truly takes time out of your day to 1, record, and 2, even in my videos that are unedited, I still have to at least put all the video clips together, even if it's just 2 large clips, and allow my computer time to format and press everything together as one large streaming video instead of, say, the intro is 1 clip, the video, and then the outro. And that part alone can easily take 1 hour at the end of the night after you're completely done just formatting. Then you have to make sure you're up in time to upload and everything like that. And it's like, honey, I don't have time to do that because right now I am physically on the clock at work more often than I am off. Guaranteed every day for at least for as long as I can see coming, I'm going to be working a minimum of 12.5 hours per day. And it's like, sis, you barely got time to sleep. How you going to go ahead and get a video made? And I'm like, figure it out. And I stayed up all night like, but I can't do a makeup tutorial because, honey, I don't even have time to just do makeup. Literally, just because I knew I was getting on camera, I pulled out my Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer, put 1 drop right here on this biggest acne mark because it's just been bothering me. Took this e.l.f. concealer brush, spread it out across that one and this one. What was left on the brush, I just did a quick swipe underneath the eye. When I tell you, it was literally 1 drop. You can still see the acne scars there. But I just wanted just enough to take your attention off of it while I'm talking. Y'all probably didn't even see it and notice it, but when I watch my own videos, that was all I could see is this little bad boy sitting here rent-free. So I'm like, okay, I gotta draw my distraction against away from that. But I'm sitting like, okay, Torrence, what can you do? You can possibly have that other video up by Saturday, especially if I stay up all night Friday. I'm gonna be thoroughly exhausted. But I'm like, you gotta figure out something. You decided to go to work, so you can't just quit that. You can't just leave your subscribers going. I'm like, come on, why would you make such a dumb choice like that? And then it hit me. You could do a video about dumb makeup choices. And I'm like, that's genius, Torrence. You could talk crap about stuff you get. I'm really not worried about who like it or who don't because I didn't pay my money for it and I'm not satisfied. So it's like, let's get it moving. So I'm like, all right. What is some dumb makeup purchases? And what really inspired this video, y'all got to excuse me, but this one here. Y'all know I showed in my previous video on my makeup drawer shame. I'll leave that video right here. I have this in here. At one point in time, Kat Von D had the makeup brand to be after. Right now they have rebranded to KVD Vegan Beauty. And for For a while, I wasn't supporting the brand because a lot of things had come out that I just wasn't happy with. But before that came out, the Pastel Goth, I think out of all of the KVD products that have ever come out, that Me Vita Local, the Me Vita Local Remix palette is probably the #1 most sought after. 2 and 3 will probably be between this one and that Saint and Sinners palette. The thing is, I got it just because I was an avid KVD collector, honey. I wanted everything. And she's absolutely gorgeous. I've used her before when I used my friends, but mine here has never been used. And you know why? I don't like pastel eyeshadows. I'm a person of color, honey, so I like to see some color. And for me, my favorites, greens and blacks. But besides that, I love deep, rich crease shades because I have hooded eyes. So I need something that's going to help me create a deeper looking crease when I wear eyeshadow. And for eyeshadows, I either like to stick to my neutrals or I like me some good, deep, rich jewel tones. A pastel can be good for nothing to me but a transition palette. And I just never felt the need to go, okay, if I want to do a green look, I'm going to just come in here for this green, then go to another palette for a deeper green. And it's like, no. I have plenty of palettes that have the pastels all built in. It also has the deeper shades, so I don't need that. And to know they no longer sell this, I'm not even sure what year it came out, but I've never used it. I've never swatched it because she pastel and she sit here and it's like, Torrence, that was a dumb purchase knowing as soon as you got it, you had no intentions on actually using it. But what was even dumber is this one here. The Dose of Colors Ice Cream palette. If you watch one of my previous videos, I showed off the ugliest palettes in my collection. That video right here, guess what I picked as #1? Guess what made #1 of ugliest palettes in my collection? And she got a dark brown that's probably deep enough for my crease, maybe even this purple. But when I look at all those shimmery pastels, and remind you, I like jewel tone shimmers, I don't get no inspiration from this palette. I have zero desire to even want to test it out. And the thing is, I've purchased, to my knowledge, every palette Dose of Colors has ever released. Been happy with every single one. I don't think I've ever had a bad product from Dose of Color. So I got this one because it was on a half off sale. And I'm like, okay, if you have everything else, this will complete the collection. Go ahead and grab it. I got her, but I bought her knowing I did not like the colors. I got her knowing it brought me no inspiration. And it's a pretty good chance I'm never going to use her. And that's why I think she a dumb choice. Because it's like, you spent money just to be able to say you spent money. Because that's what it sounds like to me, honey. You ain't going to use it. You ain't going to let nobody else use it. You just going to leave it there. Dumb choice. Another one. Oh, Now with this one, it's a little bit different. Because just going in, I wasn't sure what to expect. And I have tried it. But back to that pastel thing. And this is another brand where I purchased every single palette they've ever released. The Deuce palette by Juvia's Place. Honey, the artwork on here is just absolutely stunning. So that was one of the first reasons why I got it. It's nice and reflective. Oh, excuse me. You get on the inside, and it's like, what kind of looks am I supposed to create with this, honey? Because when I look at one transition shade, then look, okay, what crease shade am I going to put with that? I know something, but then I figure out what lid shade am I going to put on top of that? Ain't none of them pretty to me. Nope. Just looking at them here, nope. And I can guarantee you, just looking at it and looking at where I have brush strokes and things, the two main shades I've used the absolute most was this one as a transition shade and possibly this one as a crease. I think I've also used this one a few times, but the rest of these shades, I just look at it like. But truth be told, almost every person I know who's my complexion or deeper doesn't really like this palette. Got a bunch of fair-skinned friends that absolutely love it, so I'm like, maybe because it's a little bit lighter, it looks a little better on lighter complexions. But for me, just looking at this little light, icy, minty green, I'm like, dumb purchase, but because I purchased every single eyeshadow palette from Juvia's place, I was not going to let my collection go bad without this one. So, got it here, but it's like, no ma'am, I don't want to use you, but I'm not going to give her up. Some more pastels, honey. You would think, Torrence, you already got all of these. Why you going to keep it going? Because I'm stupid. And you know why? Bought the Huda Beauty Pastel Lilacs palette. I like purples, but I like deep, dark purples. But when she went on sale, I couldn't say no. Look at how pretty that is. She's gorgeous in the pan, but Torrence, if you don't like pastel colors, why would you spend your money on this knowing you're never going to reach for it? I'll probably one day just go ahead and swatch it and see what the colors look like. More than likely, I'll use the shimmers, but I can always see myself pulling out at least a single deep, dark purple shade for my crease, because even with this being the darkest one here, I still say I will probably use that as a transition shade. But we got it because we crazy and we stupid. Another one, Pastel Mint. Now, if the Huda palette comes out after the Juvia's Place one, and I was just complaining about how much I don't like pastel mini green shades, why would I buy a whole palette full of them? Then you open it up and you realize most of these shades ain't even all that green for real. So you're playing with my emotions by telling me my favorite eyeshadow color is coming out, which is green. Then you bring down the saturation and you don't even make most of them green. You would think that would have been the fastest way for me to avoid it. But because I done bought them all so far, gotta keep my collection full. Wasted money. Pastel Rose. I ain't even that big on regular pink shadows, so the idea of me even spending money on a pastel one, once again, color story look nice, but to me, she looked like a yellow and pink palette. She don't even look like just a basic pink palette, so it's like y'all saying rose, but I'm not getting the rose thing. But they still managed to get my money. Just stupid. Last two we got for the pastel palettes, honestly, they weren't even advertised as a pastel palette, but it wasn't until I got it in my hands that I went, wait, that don't look the way he did online. But you know what? We're going to test her out anyway. If you a person of color, my complexion or darker, honey, you might as well get ready to call this a pastel palette, because the original Norvina by ABH, no ma'am. The colors on the inside are absolutely beautiful. And when you look at this online, when I first saw it, I considered this a purple palette. It's not until you see it in person and you realize this is much more of a neutral palette with some pops of purples. Because the purple shimmers, they are nice. These mattes, these is the softest, taupiest, I bought this on launch, and I promise you, I go in it for the shimmers. When I use it, if I use it. Because these shades are just too light, and I'm like, Torrence, you should have seen that coming, because it's called the Norvina palette because it suits her and her fair skin. Of course she's going to pick shades that fits her. If I came out with a Torrence palette, I bet you I'm going to like all the shades. So to think that I was going to be able to use her colors and get the same type of looks was foolish on my end. But this little pastel bad boy, no. It's good quality. Well, it's alright quality. Some of those shimmers may be a little high shine full and have a little fallout for you. But if you like the ABH formula, you should be okay with that one. But I don't see her being your favorite. Another one, the Carly Bybel palette. I remember when she first dropped her palettes with BH Cosmetics, I think I bought that for all of my friends. And then when they came out with the remix version, I'm looking like, who need that, sis? We already got that. But BH tried it. They didn't get no money off me that second time. This one here, trying to show y'all this color without breaking this thing by bending it back. First of all, just looking at it, I was like, I don't get and understand the color story. Um, and yeah, honey, every time I tried to use this bad boy, I was just as confused before as I was after. I've even looked at Carly do some tutorials and I was following along, but I'm telling you, unless you got a skin complexion like Carly's, these colors not gonna show up the way you want them to. Nope, 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 nope. No, ma'am. I need some deeper shades. I need some darker shades. I need some richer shades. With shimmers, they going across the lid. That's okay. But because I have hooded eyes, I can't put a matte crease shade in my crease that's lighter than the shimmer on top. It's going to look weird. So, nope. That was a dumb purchase. But because I done bought all the ABH palettes since Modern Renaissance, I had to have those. Couldn't let my collection go short. And I just sit back and look at them like, honey, the only reason you got those is either going to be for comparison purposes or just collection purposes because you're never going to use those. And then I just started going through like, okay, Torrence, you got to have some more stuff. What else we got going on? Another dumb thing I did. I love the MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish formula. This is one that I have probably my most used. Snow Flushed, honey. Now this wasn't a dumb purchase. This was an absolute amazing purchase because they came out with an eyeshadow, I believe, one year. It sold out so fast, most people couldn't get it. So then they dropped it in this form the next year. And for the longest, I would not use it because I didn't want to mess up the embossing. And one year I just said, Torrence, we're going to try it as an eyeshadow. Been using it ever since, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I don't let this embossing stop me. But guess which ones I do let? These two dumb purchases right here. These are the MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish and Postmodern Peach and Hot, what is it? Hot Demoiselle. Baby, I don't even know that last word. I don't speak French, so we're not even going to do it. We're going to call this Hot Damn Mademoiselle. That's all wrong, but I'll leave it in the description bar below. But look at this one here. Postmodernistic Peach. Look, I got to see if I can get this close for y'all, honey. Can y'all see that embossing? Look at her. It looks like the softest feather in the world, honey. I'm in love, and I had to have it. And it has like this light peachy pink flip to it. This one has a darker, richer version. This that Hot Demoiselle one. Look at her. Absolutely stunning, sis. And because it has that design on it, I've never used them because I've never wanted to mess them up. And something keeps telling me this one might fit my complexion and I can use it as a regular highlighter. But if I were to use it and I'm not just like truly in love with the color, I'm going to be upset. But by leaving them like this all pretty and standing there, I'm satisfied. I ain't got to use them. They can sit just like this. And I love them. And it's like, this is a dumb purchase, Torrence. This is a highlighter. What's the point of buying a glow if you're not going to give yourself a little glow? But I don't want to mess them up. I'm telling you. I just can't. And just because I just showed y'all a close-up of that one, I want to show y'all the one I was using. Because this one has a little bow on it. And it's like, Torrence, if you can mess up this one with that little flip on it, like y'all can even see the way that color is just catching across. I managed to use this one just because she's gorgeous. Those two, I ain't found it. And I'm like, one day I'm going to get the strength. But until then, I'm going to consider those a dumb purchase. Ooh, on this side, y'all thought y'all was going to have. Let's go ahead and show y'all these. Now, I don't want y'all coming for me and my baby because y'all know I love Rihanna. But for me personally, this was a dumb purchase because I bought them for myself when I was freelancing. And I used them on clients. But I never used them myself because I'm like, Torrence, you're either always completely dressed or completely undressed. It's very rare you're going to catch me like in a low-cut shirt or a shirt without sleeve. That's a rare occasion, honey. I like to stay covered or uncovered. So the idea of having body lavas, I think these things is $60, 3 ounces. But they gorgeous, honey. They gorgeous. They gorgeous. But it's a waste of money and it was a dumb purchase because I'm not going to wear this. have leather seats, honey. The last thing I want to do is get in my car with illuminators all over my body. Now my seat's covered, and the next day when I get in with regular clothes, they covered. It's just no time and place where I'm going where I need this. If I'm going to the club, I'm trying to dance and sweat it out, but the clubs ain't been open in a while, so ain't no point of going there. And the reason it's dumb is because I got all 4 colors. $60 a pop, got all 4, don't use none of them, but still collecting them all. Which ones we got? This first one, who needs clothes? She a nice little light pinky hue. Not my complexion, but a fair-skinned woman would probably love her. Cognac candy. Y'all know I love the diamond bomb on this one. I bought it simply because of the name. More than likely, if I was to use this one, it will probably give me like a tan look because I'm quite sure this is a little deeper than my complexion, or this will probably be the perfect one. I think she's gorgeous. Brown sugar. I know this one will be a little deeper than me. Another pretty one, but once again, it's an illuminator that's darker than my complexion. So how much is it going to actually lighten and brighten and give me a glow? Trophy Wife. Limited edition. Bought it simply because it's Trophy Wife, honey. Didn't need it, but had to have it just to say I got them all. And I believe you can purchase 2, if not these 3. This one here, I had to have her. But I'm like, Torrence, you don't even like bright gold eyeshadows. Why would you buy something to highlight the whole body with? Rihanna said, be better have my money, honey, and I dang sure did. And if she come out with bottle number 5, y'all gonna be calling me a whole handful of stupid because I'm gonna go from 4 to 5 and bop myself in the head right before I pick it up. Ain't no point in lying to you. Ooh, back to this side, honey, because we finished all this right here. Oh, wait, no, these. Now you know you crazy when you buy a primer simply because you think the bottle is beautiful. I bought this Becca primer, the Backlight Priming Filter. It has a nice yellow gold undertone to it. The thing is she alright? Just that. Yeah, she alright. So why is it? Because it had a nice weighty frosted glass bottle, got the nice little cap, got a pump, all of that. So I bought that one. But then when they came out with this purple one that is truly not my complexion because I have a very warm undertone, I bought this just so he could have a friend. He was half off and I figured I could say I got both of them and just set them right there. And I love just grinding these together like this just because it's a frosted bottle. But honey, you didn't have to buy a primer you knew from the day you saw it you could never use. But I like making dumb purchases, and that was one of them. These right here. Honey, I ain't gonna lie. I like them, but are they worth it? In my position and in my life, no. Lily Lashes. These are 3D mink lashes. I think they range between $25, $30. Fabulous. I love them. They are amazing. But for me, these are dumb purchases because I use cheaper lashes. These last, they good. The thing is, natural hair cannot be used and abused the way synthetic fibers can. So if for any reason I use these and I just treat them like trash when I'm taking them off, when I'm washing them, when I'm storing them, they're going to show that wear and tear a lot faster at $30 than my little cheap Idole lashes that I've been using for years. This is a mixture of different lashes I've used over the years, some from Idole, some from Kiss, and I promise you, I can get a pair of synthetic lashes to last a lot longer than a pair of natural hair lashes. With my brushes, I'm going to take care of those, so they're going to get a little longevity. But at the end of the day, when I realized I can get one pair of mink lashes for $30 or 5 pair of synthetics for $10, and once they on my face, you not going to know the difference because who's staring in my face so close that they notice the difference between mink and synthetic. Now with bundles, I understand that natural bundles may look a little better. It may, produce a little less heat. But right here on my eye, when I'm going in and slapping on glitter, glue, and mascara and all of that, I need something cheap because I'm snatching them off at the end of the night. So for me, synthetic is the way to go, honey. It's what I used on most of my clients and nobody cared. Everybody thought it looked beautiful. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna always keep me a pair of natural lashes just because on those days like my birthday, things like that, I like to feel extra special. But I limit myself to just a few pair. I also got my, which ones? My Eye Shine Lash Connoisseur. I keep me a few pair of these. But other than that, honey, I'll never have a collection of natural lashes as big as my other ones unless somebody else plan on sending them to me. Another thing that was a dumb purchase, honey. You know what? Because this is an unedited video and I want to make sure this camera don't cut off, I'm about to hurry up, click off, and click back on just to make sure we don't edit or cut nothing out. Baby, had to do that fast while I was still sitting there because I want to make sure we got time to talk about this. We ain't going to let this little half an hour take our little shine. Next up, baby. I consider this a dumb purchase and I don't know why. Well, yes I do. I don't know why yes I do. Stop lying. It just came to me. I bought this because it was half off. So first off, let me just tell you, what's not a dumb purchase? This little bad boy here. Oh my God, I absolutely love her. The Natasha Denona Gold Palette is a fabulous purchase. It's a reason why she was retailed at $129 and why you barely catch her on sale, honey. This palette is so freaking stunning. I love her. The only thing I personally would change, well, I would say only two things I would change, is this matte green shade here is a cream to powder. I personally would have preferred it just be a regular creamy matte formula like the other mattes. And to me, I would have taken one of these three matte shades and put them in as a matte black just because I love matte blacks. I figured we have three different variations of neutral warm tones, especially this one mustard here. Well, I guess that makes the fourth one. But these three are all so close to me. I don't feel as if we needed them. One could have been black and it would have gave us so much more depth to this palette. But with that being said, Natasha Denona makes some of my absolute favorite shimmers in the world. I absolutely love them, and that's why I have, I believe this one, the Sunset and the Lila palette. I also have the minis that go with this one, and I've never had issues with them. The thing is, I think Natasha Denona's I think Natasha Denona's shimmer formula is miles above her matte formula, and that's just me. So I don't know what I thought I was going to get out of the all matte palette. It's not that her matte formula, and, excuse me, oh, I don't know where that came from. Oh yeah, early in the morning, ain't even took my allergy medicine. Sinus medicine. But the thing is, if you absolutely love these, but you felt as if the mattes were okay, why would you go in and buy a palette full of shadows that you only think are okay, and this bad boy retailed $430 as well? Now just looking at the color story, it's like, okay sis, I see what you're doing. You trying to stun on them. Go ahead and do your thing. The problem is, this palette is so hit or miss, it doesn't make sense. I did at one point try to make it work, and I just kept saying, you know, this shadow is so amazing, but then you will go in and use this one and then you got to put in some work. I eventually say, you know what, we give up. I am no longer interested in buying any palette that has a bunch of mattes from Natasha Denona. Truth be told, that's why I haven't bought many of her other palettes since those, because I only want her shimmers. These just leave me wanting for more, and I'm like, I initially got it because of this all green packaging. Y'all know greens are my favorites. It was the plastic one, so it gave me a chance to test out a different formula from her normal, you know, styrofoamy looking ones like this. So I'm like, okay, Torrence, you will be able to have new packaging. You'll be able to have mattes that you can add to any of her other palettes because you felt as if those palettes were lacking in the mattes. No, sis. I'd rather just pull them from a different brand. And truth be told, I think the very next Natasha Denona purchase I'm going to be making It's probably going to be that really big green brown one. I said I may save up and get that for my birthday or for Christmas because I think she like $240 at full price. But if I can catch her on that Black Friday sale, many times they have that like 30-40% off. But to me, if you told me Natasha Denona is willing to either send you all of her matte shadows for free or you have to pay for all of her shimmers, if I'm broke, I'm going to just tell her go ahead and send it. But if I got the money, I would rather buy her shimmers because her matte formula just does nothing for me. It does nothing for me. And just looking at this palette, the only reason I'm going to keep it is for collector's purposes because honestly, I'm really debating on just giving it away or selling it because she does nothing. And I think this is a dumb purchase knowing I only thought it was okay. So even if everything performed the way all of these did, it would have still been just an okay purchase. But because they have hit and misses, she a dumb purchase. And I wouldn't recommend nobody else spend no money on that. No ma'am. Another dumb purchase, honey. And to me, honestly, I wouldn't say it's a dumb purchase because I really, really like it. But because I bought it with absolutely zero desire to use it, I'm going to call it a dumb purchase. And that is my Moschino and Sephora palette. I think this little laptop palette is one of the cutest things ever. And the only reason I bought it is because Teresa is dead said it's a beautiful palette. She bragged about the formula and how much she loves it. And so when I went on the Sephora app and seen it was half off, I grabbed it because when it came out at full price, I'm looking like, I'm not paying for that. I'm sorry, no ma'am, we not paying for that. But look at this here. Tell me she is not cute. And that little teddy bear mouse pad thing is a little brush cleaner. So I'm like, I really wish you had the ability to take that out and wash it because the one thing I don't want to do is stick a dirty brush in there and then close this. But the color story on this is really pretty. And what I like most is the fact that the two larger pans here are your matte browns. So you have a transition shade, you have a crease shade. They gave me my black, honey, like come through. But I'm just looking at this like, honey, it is nice. This top row has some matte neutrals here. This middle row has some pinks and oranges. So it's like you can do some things here. There, I don't see any really, good, deep, colorful shades. This is a soft green. There they go with that pastel instead of giving me my jewel tone. But I'm like, she's nice and cute. And I've never heard nobody say anything bad about it. But I don't use it because I just want to keep the good memories of it. The only time I use this is when I'm being funny and let's say I just walk past my makeup room and I see it, I might just open it up and act like I'm typing and just do like this a few times and just keep on moving. But my favorite thing to do with this palette is just to sit it right here on the side of me whenever I'm watching Teresa Is Dead's videos. I'll make sure I leave her channel linked right here above, especially when she does drunk bingo. Anytime she does her drunk bingo, me and this palette will sit right there, and every time she says something that I think is funny, I'm like, haha, that's a good one. Thing, and act like I'm clicking one of the keyboards, and we keep it moving. But knowing I never plan on using this because I just don't want to risk finding a bad shade and being disappointed in the quality, I consider this a dumb purchase just because it's makeup I purchased that more than likely is going to go bad before I ever get a chance to use it. Oh, these last few, honey. Now let me just put this out there. I ain't got nothing against this woman. I was subscribed to her channel for years. It doesn't seem like right now she's trying to come back to YouTube or anything. But for years, I just watched it because I thought she was talented. I thought she was beautiful. The makeup always looked nice. The problem is, just because somebody else is talented and they good at what they do, doesn't mean that if you follow behind them, you're going to get the same results. And for that, I'm going to say, it's not that they were bad advice, it was just bad advice for me because every single product I've ever purchased due to the recommendation of Tati Westbrook, I've only been either okay or disappointed with. I've never purchased something from her and went straight on, Oh my God, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. The one thing I didn't bring up here, because technically I don't consider that a bad or dumb purchase anymore, was the Tarte Shape Tape. I remember seeing her talk about it. It's so full coverages, blah, blah, blah. I tried it and it was just, to me, it seemed a little drying, but I'm like, okay, maybe it's just they know something I don't. I eventually ended up taking it, getting a few more shades, and putting that in my freelance kit, using that to clean up brows. But on my face, I never used it because after about 2 or 3 attempts, I'm like, no, she's ugly. I'm not going to use that. We're going to keep it moving. Something else I bought simply because of Tati. The Volume 1 Texture Neutrals. She's the beautiful palette. The problem is, and actually for this palette, I have a tutorial which you can check out right here. With this palette, it comes with, what is this? 6, 12, 24 shadows. You get 24 shadows in 6 different color stories. Each one is supposed to be a different color, and each row has a different finish. The problem I have, this whole row here, the sequin row, which was supposed to be the matte with the sparkles, it's a whole waste of time. For me, I kept telling myself, okay, we can use this as a transition shade. We can use these in the crease. We can use these on the lids, use these in the inner corner and the brow bone. Be good to go. You would think so. The problem is, if you try to use these sequin shades as a transition shade with a large fluffy brush, you better be doing your makeup first. Your eye makeup first, because otherwise you're going to ruin your You're going to ruin your look. And not only that, those sparkles stick like nobody's business. I had to take a true makeup wipe, and even when I was going through and wiping underneath my eyes, there were still sparkles that were there, and I just had to do my makeup on top of it. So to me, if you get one of these little lighter shades or one of these jewel tone shades, not lighter shades, one of these lighter or neutral shades, you should be okay. But something tells me, if for any reason I was to ever try to blend this black out as a transition shade, I truly believe I can blend black out. Black with sparkles that stick, I ain't even tested it out because I don't want to even find out what that's like. But these glitters, they beautiful. They stick without glitter adhesive. These so-called metallics could have been a little more metallic for my taste. The mattes were nice. But the thing is, for the price point and for how long it was sold out and for how much she hyped this up, I wanted all 3 finishes to work. I should not have had issues with this texture. And because that's 25% of the palette, it's like, honey, I just wish you would have gave me a little bit more. Another thing, I remember I bought this fan brush because of Tati Westbrook. This is the Smashbox fan brush. She used it and the glow on her skin was so nice and so beaming and so strong. I was like, I got to find me one of those. Basically, it was so hard to find this brush. It seemed like everybody was sold out. I ended up catching it at Macy's, bought it, brought it home. And the first thing I kept saying, I was like, this brush is cute, but she is lightweight and thin. Like, ain't Smashbox supposed to be like a pro line? This little thin little... So I took it, I grabbed it, I used it, got me a little highlighter, and I went, is this a baby highlighter, bro? Like, is it supposed to give me just the tiniest, faintest little... Honey, she barely did anything. She felt little, she looked little, cheap, flimsy, and that's what she did. She gave me a cheap, flimsy, little bitty amount of highlighter. Ended up tossing her to the side. The only other brush I ended up getting from them, I don't even remember. I bought like a surprise makeup kit or like a, what is those little boxes called? A secret box or one of those things where you don't get to choose it. You just say, okay, $50, 10 items, and you just get a random thing. This Travel Precision liner brush came in one of those little boxes. But I promise you, these are the only 2 Smashbox brushes I have because I was so disappointed with this first one, I wasn't going to ever try that again. But if you want to know a good fan brush, honey, that It for Ultra Radiance fan brush, look at the difference between these 2 bad boys. Look at how much wider the she is, baby. She going to make sure she give you some highlighter. And then look at the surface area of those. This one is large and fluffy to make sure she buffs and blend it out, honey. This little cheap thing, But I'm like, Tati, you convinced me to buy this Smashbox brush. I wasn't satisfied with this. You convinced me to buy the texture neutrals, and although she was all right, I wish she was better. And you know what else? Something else she got me to do? Every time I just think about it, it's like, and I need to slide over just so y'all can see how stupid I was. Right here, let me go to this side. Y'all can't see what's right here. All y'all can see is these brushes. Right in front of those brushes is a whole stack right here. Let me grab them. Artiste brushes. And you see how many different brushes that is. And I'm not sure if you know, Artiste is a very expensive brand. Honey, they are a very expensive brush brand. So imagine my dumb self going in and buying them because Tati Westbrook hyped them up. Oh, they're the greatest. They blend like this. They do that. Well, I said, okay, Torrence, let's go ahead and get us a few. Why not? First went in and bought the black set because I absolutely love black brushes. You see, I'm wearing a black t-shirt right now. Some of my absolute favorite brushes were the If Ulta Velvet Luxe collection. And I'm like, oh, black handles to me seem to just stain a little less. It's easier to clean. Why not? So I bought this little bad boy. This is the, let me see what you call it, the Oval 3. This was the cheapest, plastikiest, worst brush I've ever used in my life. And it was on sale, and then something told me, maybe it's on sale because it don't work quite like the other ones. So then I swapped her out. Grabbed one of these. It was supposed to be like the original ones, but this is called the Smoke Collection. This is the Oval 8. I heard this was the most popular one, so I'm like, okay, Torrence, we'll take one of these. The thing is, this isn't the original color. The original color, I believe, is like a chrome with a white pressing part here. And so I'm like, okay, no problem. It's still darker. I personally prefer darker colored brushes because I think they clean a lot easier. We'll use this one. Well, she was fabulous. The problem is, Oval 8 is way too big to be doing any type of foundation work with. Will it get the job done? Yes. But this brush is so dense and so large, you would think, oh, having something this big to swipe across would be easy. But then you got to remember, when I want to get to my eye, this can cover the entire eye area on top and on bottom. So it makes it hard not to swipe and not cover my brows or swipe across and miss completely underneath my eye. So I'm like, Torrence, you need something smaller. This is something you can use for a large area like powder or bronzer or something, but you need something more detailed. Well, because I got this on sale as well, I realized it's hard to find the Smoke Collection because their original collection is those white handle brushes. So I'm like, Torrence, you done spent some more money, you done did some more things. So I said, screw it. But because I got this one on a half off sale, I said, you know what, we'll save money and buy a backup because y'all know I'm big on buying backups. So I got another one here. She stays in the package because I thought I was going to use her. I washed this one, and guess what? Never used it again for foundation. Guess what I used this for? One time after foundation. We was being funny at a party one year, and I used it for the body lava. I promise you, this one brush sits to the side because I put body lava on whenever me and my friends had a party and got drunk and was having fun. That's how I know that one shade is too dark for me. But I said, Torrence, you really pay all that money for this? But Tati said they're good for foundation. Why don't you go ahead, get that white set, get the smaller brushes, and you'll be good to go. Well, as you all saw, I did get them. They sitting right here. And I got a whole range of them, honey. But guess what? Guess who doesn't use these brushes? Take a while, guess who doesn't use these brushes? And that's why they're a dumb purchase. So, even though I knew for sure that Oval 8 was too big, we got her in the white hair one. I still haven't found a use for this humongous brush besides using her all over the body. And guess who doesn't wear body makeup? Then I figure, oh, they may have something a little bit smaller you can use for foundation. The Oval 8. But guess who's never gotten around to the time to actually testing it out to see if this even works with foundation? Because I'm constantly using my favorite. Then they said, oh, they got smaller ones that were wonderful for like concealer and things like that. So I went and got the Oval 6. Now, to me personally, I think this might be the one that would be perfect for foundation, because when you look at the size of that one compared to the size of this, when you press it like that, they ain't too far apart. So I really think this Oval 6 is going to be the one. But considering the fact she done sat on the shelf probably a year and a half, 2 years, I wouldn't know. A really good one for under eye concealer, the Oval 4. I know she fits perfectly right there and will smooth things out. But these brushes are so thick and so dense that I'm afraid once it's time to wash them, they not going to dry in time, and then I ain't going to be able to do my makeup the next day. That's why I ain't never used them. They take forever to dry. When they tell you, oh, we can pack 100,000 bristles into these brushes, they are not playing. And as someone, when I use the body lava, that rinse out easy because it dries down and it doesn't get tacky. If I'm going to go in with something like a full coverage Nars foundation, and I use it that morning and I have a busy work week and I forget to wash that brush that night, baby, coming back to him the next day is about to be a struggle. Because he going to look at it, oh, you thought I was playing when I said I'm long lasting and I dry down, man. Okay. Okay. You might as well bring your elbow grease. Another one, the Oval 3. Wouldn't have no idea what to use this one for. I think many people use this for like putting on eye primer and things like that, but ooh, there go my alarm. See, gotta get ready for work, but I told y'all, we ain't rushing. We're gonna keep talking about the last few of these brushes. Oval 3, we just brought that one up. Ain't never used her. Which one is this? The Circle 1R. I seen a tutorial where one girl used this for under eye concealer, and I'm like, just like with today. If I can't do nothing else with my makeup, pinpoint concealing, take what's left underneath the eye, this would have been fabulous to be nice and already rounded and just swoop, 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 swoop. But then I'm like, Torrence, if you wanted something fast and quick, you already have brushes that can do that. You got this one that you use already. Your Sigma P82. He's small and round, but he's already in the format you know how to use. I know how to use brushes like this, but they tricked me with that. These brushes are ergonomic and they're designed to hold and use by yourself like oh. So all my life, I've been doing makeup wrong when I've been using long brushes like this and bringing them toward my face where I want to be. I was just being dumb. I was supposed to be a genius and buy a brush that's already pointed toward me when I pick them up. Because this makes more sense and is a whole lot easier than this. You right, Artiste. Let me go ahead and buy some more. Dummy. The Linear 6. I have no clue what I'm going to do with a brush this long and this thin. I hear people, oh, you can use it for eyeliner. I need something to create a line when, let me open this one. Eyeliner comes with a tool to create a line. It says, I don't need your brush to, yeah, that's dumb. But they got my money. Then, not only did I realize, Torrence, you don't use the big one. Do you know what? It makes sense. Getting a small one. This one is the linear one. Little tiny eyeliner brush. Once again, if you don't want to get it wet because you're scared you're not going to clean it in time and he's not going to dry fast enough, why would you keep buying different versions of it? I don't know. But this is some of the dumb stuff that I purchased, that I have, that I keep, that I refuse to use or sell. And I'm telling y'all, honey, I'm just sitting here, I almost forgot this one right here. Let me pull you to the side because I don't want to drop or lose any of this stuff. I was buying stuff so fast, I already showed y'all that I had this one and this backup one. This one I use for body lava. I bought this one because I kept telling myself, one day you gonna know what you want to use and you will have it for this. So she's sitting in here, unused, just minding her little business. The problem is, got one of these too. Now for me to say one, you use this for body lava, so you're going to find another one and you're going to know what you're going to use it for. But to buy a whole nother oval 3 brush, when I don't use this oval 3 brush and don't have no clue what I'm going to use them for, it's like... And I've been trying to tell myself for the longest, Torrence, we're going to figure out what we're going to do with it. But truth be told, I think in my very next giveaway, I'm going to go ahead and throw this over 3 brush in here simply because it's still in the plastic and I know for sure I've never used this one. I ain't going to lie to y'all. This has become my body lava brush, and just because of the memories it's brought and because I know how much fun we had when we used to be able to get together, I'm going to keep this for body lava. But I have no idea what I'm going to do with this one. I keep telling myself I'm going to finally test out what it looks like with face powder because I think it'll be good for that. But I really just don't even have no plans on using those white hair brushes just because it's a whole set over there and I don't know what to do with them. I'm debating on doing a full video, but with my work schedule, it's like, do you really want to test out brushes that you don't know how they're going to work and see what it's going to be like? Probably on a day off. On the day I'm headed to work, you ain't going to get me to leave the house looking a fool like that. But because you already heard my alarm went off, we've been talking long enough, and this is a video where I can just put the pieces together, send them off, and then fall asleep and wake up and edit it. We might do that because right now I truly just don't have time to edit. But I wanted to make sure I brought y'all, into my space and keep it honest with y'all because I ain't going to be the type who just going to give y'all a bad video. We're not going to do that. If we don't have time to actually put in the energy and do a good video, I figure why not go in, give you all commentary because one, you all just like hearing my opinion. And two, this gives me a chance to show off parts of my collection and really get a chance to examine like, Torrence, these are shopping habits you really need to break. Can I guarantee I'm going to do that? We're going to wait and see. Certain things like with the mink lashes, I know if I never buy another pair, I'm good. The backup primer, they supposed to be going out of business, and even if they come out with something new, I'm good. The MAC highlighters, lately I have been good because I skipped over the Christmas one, so I'm like, you've been getting better and better. Artiste, y'all never getting another dime out of me. I'm just going to let that be known. But when I look at things like that Fenty Beauty Body Lava, might have to go ahead and get me another one of those. That Juvia's Place, might have to keep going with that. That Dose of Color, simply because Dose of Color has never let me down, we're going to keep going. But if they do another pastel palette, I don't know what to tell you. Huda, we ain't even get those new 3 Haze palettes. I said already wait. I'm waiting on those to hit the clearance rack, honey. You're not going to get full price out of me for those. But I'm sitting here looking at this like, okay, Torrence, time about to go off. We've been talking long enough. So I hope you actually do enjoy this video. If you all want more content like this where it's just more talking, I can do that for you. I promise I will try to get that Fenty Beauty tutorial up Saturday because I'm hoping I can just take a little bit of time from each day and get that going to get it edited. But more than likely from now on, I'm going to have to start doing like full face videos and editing them the exact same day I do them on my days off because right now it's not looking like I got much time, but I just want you all to remember I love you all. I'm thankful for the support and I'm trying to keep you all in my routine and in my daily, life because you all are just absolutely amazing. I don't want to say, well, they should just understand you have things to do. You are working. You're trying to, get some savings, do some things. I want you all to understand you all are still a priority in my life and I want to keep content going for you all. But we can't afford to risk losing this job, and by getting there on time, we make ourselves a good impression. So with nothing else, I hope you all remember to practice, continue to stay blessed, and until next time, Goodbye, YouTube.